people like to see you, they just want to see you be an artist, because being an artist is a very unique thing. I barely know anyone that does the very specific thing that I do, and I think that that's what makes me successful, I guess, if you consider me successful. Hello, my name is Armida. This is me, and welcome to my channel. And I just hit 1,000 followers on Instagram. Ooh, today we're gonna feed my ego even more. Because you know what I got? I got balloons. Got these giant 40-inch balloons that spell out 1,000, because when I hit this like big milestone, or when I was thinking about hitting it, like it was like a goal that I was going to obviously make, then I was like, oh, you know what I want to do? When I celebrate hitting 1,000 followers on Instagram, I want to get 1,000 number balloons and then take a cool picture with it, because what other big milestone would it be? And I put on a crazy outfit to take these pictures with. I got this corset, this like basically like leather armor. It's literally leather. Like, hear this? Like leather armor I got at the Renaissance Festival, and I got like my button down top. Oh, I wish I had like a floor length black skirt with like swoosh ability to complete this outfit. But I put fishnet tights because I thought that it might be fun. And then this little headband kind of reminds me of like what Renaissance nobility would wear, kind of like some sort of like embroidered headpiece. I don't have like a helium canister. That's usually what you would do if you want to blow up balloons and have them float. I do not have that. But I was thinking, I moved, you probably don't recognize where I am right now. This is like the wall in the studio where I usually keep my TV, and moved it out of the way for this. I'm gonna see if I can tape the big huge balloons on this wall. I mean, we got a lot of real estate. Over there's my vanity, and over here is a door with my living room. We don't have too much up there right now because I got my lights. I already blew up the balloons. My husband helped me blow up a couple of the balloons. I wanted to do that before I started filming, just in case I messed it up and maybe popped the balloon. Then we probably wouldn't be able to film any video today. Yeah, I'm gonna put up the 1,000 balloons so that we have some wonderful closure to this beautiful idea that I have in my head. And then I am gonna talk about how I get started on Instagram, some advice that I give. I worked on my work, and I grew over time, and I posted about it consistently enough to gain a decent following. I think 4 digits sounds like a decent number of people, I don't know. But wish me luck. I'm trying to put these 1,000 balloons on. Here we go. I did it! I put up the balloons. It's a little crooked because what I ended up having to doing, so the tape thing did not work. I think the tape does not like the plasticky feeling of the balloons. So what I ended up doing is, because like on the top of the balloons, they have little like loops that you can loop it and like hang it like I am doing. I have a ton of these little like command hooks. This is like my secret to how I hang up like a million things in this studio. And so I got the command hooks with little command strips on the back, and I got just these rubber bands, and I just like looped it into the command hook and then looped it within the little hole that it has at the top, and then boom, and then that's how they're up there. But I'm gonna real quick go and take pictures for Instagram before the light goes away. As you see, I got the afternoon light coming in, and then I'll be able to talk to you about some advice on Instagram. Okay. Right, you girl took some pictures. I ended up putting my headband so that my ears show. I don't know. I feel like with these bangs now, I'm like trying to go for a more like younger feel. I don't know. I feel like it goes well with like the ears showing. Yeah, so I reached 1,000 followers, but it was not very easy. Getting started on Instagram can feel very overwhelming, especially because everyone and their mother has an Instagram. Let's be real. So you might be like, why would anyone follow me? Well, I thought that too. I think I made my art Instagram, specifically one dedicated to my art, I think in fall of 2017. That's when I first made it, but everything I posted at the very beginning was very much gibberish. So if you were to scroll all the way back there, you'd be like, what? She's lying. I don't say anything from 2017. That's because it was bad. It was so bad. I posted like basically photos of every like little art project I had ever worked on at the very beginning, just so I had something on my feed, which I think hurt me in the long run because it was not consistent at all. And in 2018, I started to actually post what I was working on. You know, in 2018, I was doing a lot of paintings in school and actually working on projects that I was like a little bit more passionate about in the classroom. But it wasn't until like fall of 2018 that I had one of my professors, because this was like the last semester I ever took in college, was fall of 2018, and this class was basically to prepare us to be gallery artists, like, well, maybe not just gallery artists, but to be artists outside of the classroom where teachers tell us what to do every day. It's like, okay, how to apply to galleries, how to do residency, you know, I haven't done it personally, but it was an option. So that was the type of stuff that this class like prepared us for. And so one of the very first thing was like, make an online presence. He must have showed like different examples of other artists who got more opportunities because they had an online presence first. Not that like people who don't have an online presence are necessarily bad artists, but it does make things easier, you know, to have a following, to have people who already support you. Because let's say I apply for a really big gallery in Phoenix, let's say, you know, my work is pretty good, but then there's another person whose work is also like just as good, but let's say I have, you know, 1,000 followers and they don't even have an Instagram, not even one, they don't even try to do it. Then they see me and they're like, okay, well, she's been, you know, doing the art thing for however many years. They can like see on Instagram how many posts I've done, how long I've been doing it, and they can see that there's 1,000 people who are like, yeah, her work is pretty good, I'm gonna continue to support it, I want to see what she does next. You know, there's 1,000 people who, you know, want to do that versus someone who might not, you know, so they might choose me over the other person even though their work is just as good as mine, you know. So it's like, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like an extra thing on your resume that like really backs you up. So yeah, so my teacher that last semester in college said all this, and I was like, yeah, he's right. I really gotta like actually work on this, because I think I was probably posting like once a week, if that. Maybe not, it probably was even once a week, maybe every 2 weeks, maybe. And I really could have done better because I was working on stuff all the time. And I thought at the time, oh, no one wants to see in progress work. No one wants to see me working on something or like my studio. Like nobody wants to see that. People just want to see finished work no matter what it is. But that's really not the case. So after I had that mindset, I really started to post more on Instagram, and therefore I was able to see what my small audience that I had at the time enjoyed and responded with, you know, with likes and comments and follows and stuff. I know it's like really hard to get your mind wrapped up in the numbers, but it can be helpful in a general sense to see what your audience likes more. And so I was able to figure out that even if I just, let's say I'm like really busy a week and I just take a picture of my studio, I got all my supplies and I got my easel and stuff, people like to see you, you know, they just want to see you be an artist, because being an artist is a very unique thing. You might be like, oh yeah, everybody learns about artists, you know, let's say in like history in school, but there aren't that many people who paint, you know, like I do, like my cloudscape, cityscape stuff. I barely know anyone that does something very like the very specific thing that I do, and I think that that's what makes me successful, I guess, if you consider me successful. I think I could say this more confidence because I have hit this big mark, but it's not to say I wasn't successful up until I hit this big mark. It's just like something I gotta put myself in the mindset of. Something that I wish that I did know when I started off on Instagram was, here's some advice that I give to anyone who's starting to make an art Instagram, specifically art Instagram, is that I wouldn't be too worried about you have to post every single day. Because I think when I see videos are like, okay, here's how to grow on Instagram, and a lot of it is like post every single day. And I did try to do something very close to that recently, and I feel like it did not help at all, because I was like doing more fluff in my feed, just like little bits of stuff that I think my audience did not care for too much. People might tell you like, oh yeah, post all the time. But I think specifically for art Instagrams, I think something that's there's like a lot of effort put into it. So if for you, in your very specific sense, you can't work on art all that much, and you can only post like once a week, every 2 weeks, as long as you're putting a lot of thought into that work, you got a nice caption, it's a finished drawing, maybe like a sketch, or it's like a carousel post with like your progress that week. You know, it doesn't have to be a finished thing. As long as you put a lot of effort into it and your audience can see that you put a lot of effort into it, that's what makes an art account successful. Because I used to think of my art Instagram as like anybody else's Instagram. Like, let's say people who post like selfies all the time, they go on the street with a really cool outfit, you know, like fashion bloggers or travel people and they can, I guess I can post all the time because that's their thing. But for art, it's like, okay, even if I did paint every single day, like a ton of hours, then I can only get so much done, and then I wouldn't have a life, you know, and that's not good. You don't think about your art Instagram as like anybody else's Instagram. It just like put more thought into it. Oh, another pointer for people who starting to make an art Instagram, you'd be like, oh my gosh, like I can't post that often. I can't crank out work all that fast because let's say you work on something very slowly or something. Repost old work. If you got something that you painted a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago that you're very proud of still, don't be afraid to repost it. Nobody cares. Like I whenever I'm like I'm in between paintings or I'm working on something that's taking a little bit longer and I can't, you know, post that work all the time, just I repost something that I painted like a year ago, 2 years ago, like the full painting, maybe like some studio shots of it as well, so it's a full carousel thing, because you get new followers every time. So like think about how many followers you had last year compared to this year, and so and then let's say when you posted this finished painting last year, maybe you didn't get as big of reach, so you reposting it this year, you new people are gonna see it. That's always a good thing. So yeah, don't be like, oh my gosh, like I can't repost old work because people have already seen it. Nah, like who cares? Like even if you painted it last month and it didn't do all too well within the algorithm or something. The algorithm's changing every day, don't get me started on that. Like, and just like repost it. It's like whatever. Like people scroll on their feed all the time and they barely see stuff, and maybe like the time that you posted it was just a bad time. It's just like whatever. I do find whenever I do that, like it always does really good. It's just like reposting old work, especially if I really like it. Now that I have like a good body of work that is very consistent, you know, like the stuff I did last year, 2 years ago, I think maybe even 3 years ago, it's all pretty similar to the stuff I'm doing now, you know, so I can repost it and it looks like I did it yesterday, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I might sound like I'm like talking like I'm a pro at this or something at Instagram. I'm really not. I guess from 2017 to 2022, how many years is that? It's like 5 years. It took me 5 years to get 1,000 followers. That might be pretty slow, I think, for someone who takes it very seriously now. That the 1,000 in 5 years is pretty slow. But I really didn't take it seriously until later on, and then I was like figuring out my voice and like just figuring stuff out. So if you're growing at a slower rate or about just the same, then like it's whatever. Like look at me. It took me 5 years to get to this point. I bought these balloons in December of 2021. I wish I had the receipt to show you how long ago I bought these balloons, because I was so certain I was gonna reach 1,000 followers before like the end of 2021. So I was like, oh, I better buy these balloons. That's what it's looking like. And then I think the algorithm changed to where, I don't know, it just like whatever I was doing, it was biting me in the butt. My reach totally like dunked. But I think whatever's happening right now, I think I'm coming back at it. Like I said, I'm putting more effort into my posts, more thoughtful captions, actually putting together stuff, and I'm like posting not every day, a little bit less frequently and stuff like that. So I think that's really helping me out. But yeah, this is a big day for me. Just a little bit of a celebration. I think my hubby and I are gonna go get some Olive Garden after this. I think he's over there playing video games in the living room. He's probably waiting for me to finish so that we can go pick up some fried calamari and fettuccine alfredo. Oh, literally, I just said it and my mouth is like watering. I hope that didn't happen to you too. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's just some like quick, like off the top of my head advice that I give to anyone who's working on our Instagram. If you like me to if you have some very specific questions on art Instagrams, posting online, having an online presence as an artist, please let me know in the comments. I love to have that conversation. Or if you want a whole nother video of me going in more depth of advice on Instagram, maybe more of like my experience and how I reached this milestone, because I didn't even talk about like stuff that you can do getting connections. I didn't even talk about that. That's it. That's all you're gonna get from me. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe if you like me and my work, and you're proud of me for reaching 1,000 followers on Instagram. I know I am happy about that. So yeah, I'll see you next time with more painting and vlogging and me, and I'll see you next time. Okay, goodbye.